Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and I want to make a video that is going to be kind of uncomfortable on a topic that is not the easiest thing for me to talk about. But things have been getting a little bit out of hand, at least to me, for my taste, on some of our videos lately on the channel. I'm not calling out anybody in particular, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. If you want to make hateful comments about things we say on a channel that is intended to entertain and to be, you know, a fun discussion channel about superhero movies and comic book stuff and sci-fi things, that's your business, that's your prerogative, feel free to. I don't like that. I wish that we could all be more civil and that we could have, you know, kind of an open-minded discussion place in the comment sections. That's what the channel has usually mostly always been. And lately, mostly with regards to things having to do with Batman vs. Superman, that has not really been the case. It's certainly not everybody. It's certainly not the majority. There are some really good discussions happening in some of those comments and in some of those comment sections, those threads. But there's also a lot of kind of flame wars going on and things like that. I hate talking about this. I hate bringing this up. This is a thing that I generally have ignored. I usually chalk this kind of thing up to people who don't usually, you know, watch our channel and don't really understand what it is that we do, and come in and, you know, are either just mean-spirited trolls or what have you, that kind of, you know, get off on doing that kind of thing, or, as I said, people who don't really understand what it is that we do and expect us to have whatever they think the right answer is, and like we're perpetuating some kind of a political agenda or some other kind of agenda. I'm going to try to clear the air here as much as humanly possible. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to tell you my honest opinion, to learn and grow myself, as well as to impart any information or insights that I might happen to have, or any opinions that I have that someone else might consider to be insights. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disheartened about the whole thing. There have been accusations thrown around that I don't think are fair, and once again, it's just the viciousness of it. It's just this kind of, like, vitriol where I feel like I can't speak my mind sometimes with particular viewers. I feel like I can't like if I say a thing that is contrary to how other people think about a thing, and you know, it's difficult to even have a nuanced opinion. That's kind of the biggest thing, is some people can't get their minds around the idea that a person would, you know, think that a thing is not critically working but like it in spite of itself, or like certain things about a thing but overall say it's not really working, that kind of thing. I have a very complex relationship with something like Batman vs. Superman because there are things in it that I really enjoyed first time around, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought it fell apart. And there are a number of things in that movie that I don't think are made clear enough, and it's just overall it's not a well told narrative. I don't think it's not a good story. Just because there are people who think that it is a good story and really like it, and not just kind of in spite of itself, like I do to a degree, and like I, by the way, was the first time around also. I'll get to that in a second. I feel like shouldn't mean that I can't say what I think about it, and that I can't have a good time doing so. If I laugh at a thing, this has been something people have been complaining about. If I laugh at something, if I make fun of something, if I make light of something, please don't take it personally. Please don't look at it like I'm going after you personally for liking a thing that I think is not working, or that I'm even that I like, that I find things in that are amusing to me, despite it, things have I run a Star Trek club, and I've had people come to my club before who think that I don't like Star Trek, or that my club doesn't like Star Trek because we laugh at things, because they'll come 3 episodes, or they'll come 3 weeks in a row, and it's all not good episodes. Yeah, I love Star Trek on the whole. There's a lot of bad Star Trek, and some of the fun of it is to poke fun of this thing that you recognize has issues, and yet on the whole you still love it, and you know why you love it, and you can talk about those things. The main thing I wanted to bring up is that is this kind of reputation I have now for changing my mind, for flip-flopping on a thing where I saw it the first time and I seemed to kind of like it, and then I had conversations with people and now I don't like it, or I don't like it as much. I have an ever-changing opinion sometimes with certain things. Some things I have kind of an ironclad opinion that could change, but nothing has happened to change it. For instance, I got a lot of backlash when I first reviewed Dark Knight Rises, and it was and I didn't really like that movie. And as time went on, I watched it, and I talked about this in the rewind. I watched it over and over and over again. I wanted to love that movie, and I just was never able to get there. Looking at it, an example that goes the other way. The first time I saw Fight Club, I didn't like it. I didn't get it. I did this for a rewind, for Rewind United. I watched it a second time, and all of a sudden I got it, and I loved it. So I feel like opinions are malleable things, and we are not the same person from minute to minute, and we have to, in my opinion, allow conversation to change the to changes. We have to allow that to happen. That doesn't mean that you should be wishy-washy. That doesn't mean you should be spineless. That doesn't mean that you should constantly be insecure and unsure of yourself, and constantly question your convictions on everything. One of the things that we learned in one of the most important lessons I learned anyway when I was in writing school doing writing workshops was when to take criticism to heart and when not to. That's a thing that I think is important for work that you share with other people, and I think that is important as simply a life skill. If someone brings up something that I didn't notice before, there's a big gaping hole in my understanding of a thing. Because the first time I watch a thing, I'm such a story guy, I'm such a character guy, that I tend to, my wife points this out to me all the time, I tend to gravitate toward the character stuff and the thematic stuff, and I notice some of that, and certainly not always all of it right away. I'll miss big plot things. She'll be like, you don't even know what the story is. I'm like, yeah, I get all caught up and I get wrapped up in character and thematic stuff, and even sometimes like score and shot composition and all that kind of stuff. So when I do, how I felt about, or a non-spoiler review on a thing, that's me seeing a thing for the first time and giving a first impression of a thing. If I walk up to someone and shake his hand and have one 5-minute conversation with him, I'm not necessarily going to feel the same way about him the second time I see him. Now, that metaphor breaks down, of course, because it's not the same conversation the next time around, but it is similar in that you learn new things when you go back to a thing. I feel like it's important to be open-minded and to not support things over having opinions about them. It's not. I really want to stress this. I'm not a politician. I'm not about endorsing things. And let me also say, I think this is probably maybe the most important thing to say, that I am just one person. I'm just a guy. If you don't like my opinion, feel free to express that. That's great. Please do. I want Geekvolution to be a house of ideas. I want it to be a free flow of exchange of ideas and opinions. What I don't want it to be is bullies trying to force people to think like them. And if you feel like I've ever done that, or if you feel like my co-hosts are doing that, then I'm sorry, because that was never my intention. And if you and if you feel that way about us, you really should stop watching. I don't want anybody to feel that way. And this is just, I don't know, this is a painful video to make, but I feel like I have to do it. I feel like I have to get this stuff off my chest. I'm going to say this. I'm either going to do things my way and talk about things as I see them now, with an open mind, always, allowing people to, seriously, to sway me if they have things I've never considered that I realize, really do change my, my view on a thing because I didn't pick up on it before. New information, new logic, that kind of thing. I'm going to do that. I'm either going to, say what I'm thinking and be open and honest and not be afraid to express myself, or I'm not gonna make videos because it's not fun, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to have a good time and to help you folks have a good time. It is a career for me, certainly. It wasn't always that way. I started off as a hobbyist. It's turned into something that has been more lucrative. That's not the main reason I do it. If I'm not enjoying this, if I'm not having fun, if I don't think the work is good, I can go do something else. And I just want people to understand that this is not me. I mean, I'm going to say something I would never say I would usually never say on the channel, because I'm trying to be totally open and speak from the heart here, because I know what some people are going to say. This is not me being butthurt. Feel free to disagree with me, but and tell me what you really think in the comments. Please do that. You don't have to agree with me, but I just wish that we could all respect each other's opinions in the comments and when we're talking to each other, and that folks could try not to take things personally when I don't agree with them. I'm not here to validate anybody's opinion. That's not what I'm here for. Please. And I hate the idea that anybody would do this, and this is going to sound like a really conceited, condescending thing to say, I'm sure, in some people's minds, because it's crazy to imagine that anybody would think this, but don't feel like I have to say what you're thinking for your opinion to be valid. I'm just a guy, and it humbles me and it warms my heart, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing that people care what I think. It's wonderful. But if you don't agree with me, that's fine. And I'd love it if you'd consider what I'm thinking, or what I'm saying a little bit. And if you then if you consider it and you put it with your own experience and worldview, because that is different for every person, and it doesn't fit into that, and what I'm saying doesn't work for you, that's fine. Also, if you don't like me, and or you don't like the way I go about things, the way I'm expressing myself, if you don't like me, and if you don't like the co-hosts, you don't have to watch. You don't have to be here. It's okay. Guys, the most important thing is that this has to be fun for me. I don't want to do it if I have to constantly second guess everything. If I'm constantly kind of virtually looking over my shoulder, qualifying everything, second guessing everything. Assume that if a thing I say that is clearly an opinion doesn't come with the caveat, in my opinion, that it is opinion, that's implied. What I just don't want to have, and maybe it's going to happen, and like I said, if you have to leave your hateful comments, that's your prerogative, but I just want folks to understand that I'm not a politician. I just want to tell you what I think. Like in all of my reviews are based on the last experience I had with the thing. It's all this moment in time, and those things can change. And guys, I'm not looking for the correct answer. This is a long video, and this is word vomit, and I realize that, and I'm sorry I didn't plan this out ahead of time. I needed to do this. I don't want anybody to think that I'm telling you what you have to think. I'm just, I've always just been a proponent of thinking. That's it. I have the same philosophy about this as SF Debris, who says, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to tell. I'm here to. I just hope that you'll think. Just don't turn your brain off. There seem to be a number of people that think that what I see my job as is like figuring out the popular opinion and then going with that. Once again, I'll throw out the Dark Knight Rises example. At least, especially when it came out, it was not popular to speak negatively about that movie. And it was somewhat polarizing. It was certainly on both sides, but I got a lot of hate for my opinion with that, and I just told you what I thought. I also want to mention that there are people in the comments that seem to think that we're deleting comments. We haven't been doing that. I don't know what's going on in the comment section, but that's not us. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. You just have to take my word for it. But we're not deleting comments. That initial how we felt about with Batman versus Superman. I'm not like this is not me like backtracking anything at all. I was conflicted from the get-go with that, and I believe I even said that in the video. I didn't know how to look at it critically the first time I saw it. It did Death of Superman stuff. I love that style in the first place. I really like Watchmen a lot, and it's got the same director of photography, and it had that look and everything. And so those were the things I liked about it. I wasn't ready to talk about story. I wasn't ready to talk about whether or not characterization and stuff made sense, if it was a cohesive piece, any of that. Critical storytelling, stuff. I don't want to say technical stuff. But that stuff. And Steve Baxi was, and I was pretty sure while I was watching it that Steve was going to not like that movie, and I wasn't prepared yet to say that. I wasn't really prepared to talk about it at all. Perhaps I shouldn't have, but I thought it was valid to get on camera and say, I don't know yet. This was a strange experience. The job for me is when I'm not just doing straight up analysis, when I'm not writing it out and getting my thoughts all figured out, the job for me is telling you what my experience was. And sometimes I can definitively say I liked it, and sometimes I can definitively say I didn't like it. And those are different responses from I think this was a good story or a well-told story. There are movies that I don't think ultimately come together that I really enjoy watching. I still think The Spirit is kind of fun, and I like watching it. Is it good? I still don't know. I still don't know. I don't mean any kind of malicious intent against anybody that has whatever opinion they have. I try very hard to respect everybody's opinions. Just know that I'm not a politician. I'm not being paid under the table by anybody. And sometimes I'm wrong. In fact, often I'm wrong. I'm just a guy in the moment telling you what I think about something, and sometimes I will discover that I don't agree with what I said before, and I'll have a conversation with a person, and they might say a thing that makes me go, oh yeah, you're right, and I'm not right, and I feel like that's just being honest with myself. It's not the same thing as having a platform and claiming that you really believe in something, like a political platform, and then switching sides on that because it helps you politically. I just see myself as a guy who is talking about movies and comics and things, and am just lucky that there are people that are interested in that, which is a lot of the reason, of course, that I've continued. There's people paying attention to it. Thank you for that. I mean, it just means the world to me. I love what I do, and I want to keep loving what I do. I hope this doesn't make things worse. I just wanted to be honest about it. Like I said, uncomfortable, not a thing I wanted to make, but I felt like I kind of had to, and I hope at least some of you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm just, I can't make everybody happy. If I say I love a thing and a bunch of people hate that thing, they're going to think I'm crazy, and vice versa. So I'm not here to make anybody happy. If my opinions sometimes seem to be in conflict, it's because I'm a human being, and a lot of the time it's because there's something I'm reacting to and latching onto in the piece that I can't quite describe, that I can't quite articulate. I think it's really important to note that when people are responding to a thing, a lot of the time how they're reacting to it, and if you think you get it, or if you do get it, and they're not getting it, sometimes it says something about the piece. If a whole bunch of people aren't understanding something especially, it often means that wasn't explicit enough. And sometimes it just means that the person wasn't paying enough attention. It's so many, as I say with so many things, it's kind of a case-by-case thing. If I can get folks to, I'm going to ask you to please be respectful to people in the comments. Please, at the very least, if you gotta call me names, if you gotta curse at me in the comments, I'll take that over people getting in fights about it, and getting in fights with each other over movies and comics and things. If you don't like what somebody says, or you think they're being mean to you or something, just stop commenting. I'm not making rules. I don't mean to tell anybody what to do. I'm telling people what I wish the comment sections were like. Free speech and all that. You say whatever you feel like you have to. I'm not deleting comments. In fact, I'll say this. The only time I have ever deleted comments on the channel have been when anyone has said anything really super vulgar about my wife, which I think has happened maybe twice. That's really, to my recollection, the only time I've ever done that. And I hate that because really vicious swearing and stuff, my kid looks at the channel. I mean, like, I'm somewhat in conflict about that. I wish we didn't have that. But again, it's YouTube. I understand that. Free speech. Say what you want to. But just understand that I'm not intending I'm not being personal when I tell you what I think about a thing. I will be sometimes blatantly honest about what I think about a piece and how it was put together and that sort of thing. But it's not about you. And I'm as far as that goes. I'm not saying you're an idiot for liking the thing you like. I'm not going to be just like you, and you're not going to be just like me. And express your opinion in the comments. And if you have a lot to say, you can make a video too. We all, if you have a camera or webcam or something, we all have the ability to do this. And I'm just one of thousands of people now that do this. And once again, I'm just lucky enough to have a following. I have probably dug my own grave even farther by talking this long. It's a thing I felt like I had to do. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Captain Logan, and working on Days of Future Past. I'll try to get that to you as soon as humanly possible. Thanks again for watching.